using green and white. And we're going to be making light green and dark green things here. We're going to start with snow. And we're actually going to use these sponges that are attached. So the way you're going to do this is you're going to get a sponge and you're going to get a paper or a clothespin, and you just open it up by pinching the end, and then you just unpinch it and it locks it into place. Okay? Then this becomes like a big paintbrush. And we're going to paint on the snow first. And you're just going to use it just like a paintbrush. And you can make small lines like this, or you can make fat lines like that. Okay? And you're going to first paint on the snow. Now you're not going to do this. Okay? You can use a sponge like that, but we're not using it today like that. We're going to use it like a paintbrush. And we're going to make our little horizon line here. And if you get off onto the table, that's okay, because we're just going to clean the tables later. Because these are our art tables and they are meant to get cleaned. Okay. Who's ever making sound effects needs to stop because it is distracting to your neighbors. Now we've got some snow here, and we want our trees to also look kind of snowy. So we're not going to use another brush. We're not going to brush this, or we're not going to clean this off or anything. We're just going to put it straight into the green. And then it's going to mix it into a nice light green. And the more times we put it into the green, the darker it will become. So the way we make an evergreen tree is we just do a sweeping diagonal line like that, going this way, and then a sweeping diagonal line going like that way. And then we do the next one. It gets a little bigger and 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 a little bigger. I need some more. And a little bigger and a little bigger and a little bigger and a little bigger, 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 done. Just like that. And then I get some more green. I'm gonna make another one. Diagonal sweeping line like this, a little sweep like that, a little sweep like this. And see how I'm using this short end here? Like this, like this. And see how some of that white is mixing in with it? Lovely. Look at the screen, you're gonna be able to see better. And you know what? That one kind of got away from me. It's okay, no big deal. But you want to make sure that you get right next to the other one. And you want to make sure that it goes a little bit bigger. Now here's what you do not want to do. You do not want to go. See how this one's too big and that one's not big enough? So you want to make sure that they're even on both sides. You don't want to go like that either, do you? Okay? You want to make sure that those brush marks show like a evergreen tree. And you don't want to go all on one side because you might get off a little bit. So you go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth like that. Now, let's say I want a really light green tree right up front. So what I can do is I can take a little bit of my white and a little bit of my green, maybe a little bit more white. So it's a very light green there. And then I also want a really light green in between these darker greens. So I'm going to take some of this that's right here, really light, and just a tiny bit of green, lots of white, just a tiny bit of green. And then I could take the big fat side even, and I could sweep it out too. Now over here on my bad example, see how that doesn't look right? Because it's too big over here. It's bigger on top than it is on bottom. Does that look right? No, it doesn't look right. So I'm going to make sure that I sweep it, and it's going to have to fall off the page to get big enough. But that's okay. There, doesn't that look better? Yeah. And now it looks like a winter forest, except you know what? Last step, we want it to snow. So I'm going to get a little bit of paint on this flat brush. Now you need to be very careful at this step because this is a great way for you to ruin your clothes if you do it wrong. And you don't want to flick white paint all over your clothes. So what we're going to do is we're going to flick white paint, and what we're going to do is we're just going to brush it up, but we're going to point the paintbrush straight down at the paper. We're going to make sure we're really close to the paper. And that's how we're going to add snowflakes. Can you guys see the snowflakes okay?
Yeah, I can see one up there.
You guys see the snowflakes okay?
Yeah.
And that's how you guys get those snowflakes in there.
I think it'll show when they're done.
It shows really well, just not so much on the video. Here, let me show you guys. There you go. You can see better now. All right, so there's all those snowflakes on the sky from the flicked. You should not get any paint, no paint should flick onto your face, onto your shirt, onto your neighbor. Because see how I'm holding this straight down and pulling up, okay? If I flick it up like this, if I push down and flick up, it's going to flick straight up, okay? So I need to make sure that I flick pulling up. Okay? All right. Does everybody understand the directions?
Yeah. Who's your neighbor?
People that sit next to you.